Wow. Good day, everybody. I think my biggest challenge will be to do all this in 10 minutes, but I'll do my best. I think the title of the presentation speaks for itself. All the topic of foreigner community, that in a minute I will explain what is this foreigner community in Israel. It is a national challenge, and the answer and the solution should be one given by the government and to have a policy. Unfortunately, in Israel, it's not done. And the majority of the asylum seekers are in Tel Aviv or in the cities surrounding Tel Aviv. So what happened is that during the years, the challenge became local and the answer became from the municipality of Tel Aviv. I want to start saying one thing. I think that all to do with the foreigner community is a very controversial topic in Israel, and I imagine that in many countries and cities around the world. I think that in Israel it's a little bit more sensitive due to a few things. One of the reasons is that Israel is a small country, and as you know, we're dealing with a lot of challenges inside and out for many, many years. The other thing that has to bring in mind is that in Israel there's not such a thing as immigration. You don't immigrate to Israel, you do aliyah. If I'll translate the word aliyah is to go up. I did aliyah many years ago with my family from Argentina. In Argentina, I'm Argentinian. In Australia, you're Australian. In France, you're French. In Israel, you're Jewish. I'm not saying that I'm agreeing with it, but that's the situation in Israel. The religion is very, very connected to the government. And I imagine that makes it much harder to find solution to the asylum seekers in Israel. A little bit of statistics. There are 225,000 migrants in Israel. This group is divided. There are 45,000 asylum seekers. 80% of them are coming from Eritrea and 20% from Sudan. The rest, as what is called migrant workers, the majority come from Central and West Africa and from the Filipinos, some from India. These 225,000 are 2.5% of the population in Israel. In Israel, we don't use the word refugees. The reason we don't use it and we call them asylum seekers, because unfortunately, since the establishment of Israel in 1948, only 170 people, 170, received the status of refugee in Israel. And it includes the Vietnamese boat that ran away from Vietnam and came to the shore of Israel, and the former Prime Minister Begin gave them the status of refugee. It means that hardly nobody receives status of refugee in Israel. I think it's the biggest critique towards Israel, that they are not checking the request of the Eritrean people and the Sudanian people to check the request for asylum seekers. It takes years, and usually the answer will be a refuse. As you saw in Israel, the asylum seekers and migrants are 2.5%. Tel Aviv, we're talking about 50,000 migrants, even sometimes 60,000. From them, half are asylum seekers, between 25,000 to 30,000. It's over 13% of the population of Tel Aviv are from the foreigner community. All of them are concentrated in 3 neighborhoods in South Tel Aviv. Mesila, the place I manage, is sitting in Neve Sha'anan, one of these neighborhoods, that 90% of these neighborhoods are asylum seekers. Only 10% are Israelis. You have to understand that even to begin with, Tel Aviv is very much, there's huge gaps in Tel Aviv between the center Tel Aviv and north, but they are very strong and wealthy population, to the south, that it's much, much weaker. And into these neighborhoods, the asylum seekers came, and it makes much more difficult to deal with it. A few words. There's no policy, like I said, towards the asylum seekers in Israel. They cannot be deported, but on the other hand, they are receiving hardly no rights. They receive very basic rights, especially the children, and limited services. The adults are entitled of almost anything. They have to renew their visa every 2 months. The visa is written black on white that they cannot work, but the Supreme Court understood that they cannot keep 45,000 people without working, so they look aside if they work in private places and not governmental and public. The children, there are 6,000 children in Tel Aviv. The majority are very small, from the age of birth to 6. The majority of those children are from Eritrea, of almost 80%. Most of the children that are in South Tel Aviv from the foreigner community, by any Western standards, will be described as children at risk. At risk can be that I don't have food to put on his table, that I don't have a shelter above my head, and it's end with physical and sexual abuse that unfortunately is something that we see quite a lot. Mesila, I will finish with that. Mesila is a special unit that was established by the municipality of Tel Aviv in 1999. I said specially because actually it's the only municipality in Israel that opened such a unit to treat and to assist a community that is illegal or is without a status. I think Mesila grew much bigger than the municipality thought. We grew as the community grew. In the beginning, there was a manager and 3 workers. Today, we are 32 workers. We are also unique by the budgets. The budget of Mesila are from the Ministry of Welfare, donations, and the municipality. In Mesila, I hear almost on a weekly basis the frame, I translate it straight from Hebrew, the poors of your city come first. I always hear that. What it means is the citizens of Israel, the Israelis have enough problems. Why do we have to take care of foreign community, illegal people that entered illegally from the border of Egypt? I always say the same thing. It's very easy to be born in the right side of the world or to the right religion, but unfortunately, not everybody is fortunate. I believe, I will skip that because I imagine that I have to finish. I'll just say, and I'll go back to this idea to finish. Mesila is sort of a welfare department. We assist hundreds and hundreds of families. Our focus is the children, but we deal with all the circles of life, and we do a large community work. And I think that also a very important part that we have is to put pressure on the government to give some rights and to deal with this issue. And I will say again, I believe that the phenomenon, or whatever we call it, of asylum seekers and refugees is permanent. It won't disappear. My feeling sometimes is that the government of Israel believes that if they won't hear and they won't see, it will just disappear. And maybe in other countries it happens. So it won't disappear. I believe strongly that, in my point of view as the director of Mesila, that we have to combine the forces of municipalities with the government and to find solutions and budgets combined together to try to find a solution to the people that need that quiet place in the world. Thank you very much.